So you think you have a bully in the workplace? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the behaviors you need to be looking for, but also I'll be talking about a bad day versus a bully, and that is an important distinction. My name is Tammy and I am your communication coach, and in today's video we're talking about what's a bully? Do I have one? And how do I know? Now the reason why this is so important to me is because when I went through my own bully experience, I didn't know the signs. I just thought I had a bad boss. And to be honest, I think it started out that way and it escalated very quickly into a bully situation. But I want to help you identify if maybe you are dealing with a bully or validate whether you have one or not. So let's talk about what a bully is. Now this is super important because the definitions are not always clear. There's a lot of different ways in which people explain what a bully is in the workplace, but when I went through the research, I realized that a lot of people's bad days and maybe incivil moments are being categorized as bully behaviors, and so I want to break down the two for you in this video. First, what's a bad day? You've probably had one yourself. I've had many. And you can look back on those bad days and go, okay, maybe I didn't act in my best behavior that day. Maybe I was hangry and I just was like, don't talk to me until I get some food in my mouth. Or perhaps I was really tired and I'm like, not before 10 a.m. or my 2 cups of coffee. Whatever that is for you, we've all had moments where maybe you've rolled your eyes, sighed, slung a sarcastic remark towards somebody. And all of those behaviors could be classified as bullying. But are you a bully? Did you intend to hurt somebody that day? Were you trying to influence an outcome and abuse your power? The chances are no. So this is why bullying in the workplace is so hard to identify, because we know and recognize that we've all had these moments and we can forgive or explain and rationalize these behaviors away as they're just a bad boss. They haven't had any training. So in this video, I want to just share with you the differences. Now, when it comes to a bad day is about me. A bad day is about me not being able to live into my values for that day. You know, if I really value being accountable and getting my tasks done, but there's been so many things coming at me that I just can't seem to get everything done, I feel bad about myself. I feel I've let others down, and sometimes that creeps out. When somebody asks me to help them for one more thing, I might be like, God, can't you just do this yourself? Because I can't live into my own values in this moment. So a bad day, which we've all experienced, and you think about this now, is I couldn't live into my values. I couldn't be my true authentic self. Maybe I'm not feeling fulfilled or loved or worthy. And these emotions, they seep out of our pores and they infect our other relationships. The significant thing is, you know you've had a bad day and a bad moment with somebody when you feel bothered by it. Very different from a bully. So a bully, I'm going to share with you the 5 characteristics of what a bully is, and then I'm going to give you some behaviors to watch for so you can start to look for, is this a bully behavior that I need to check? Because you do need to confirm your perception before you can actually say you have a bully. So let's start with the definition. Abuse and mistreatment of someone vulnerable by someone stronger and more powerful. It's pretty straightforward, but let's break that down a little bit more. Throughout the research, what I've noticed is there's 5 characteristics I'm going to share with you here. The first one is, it's not wanted. The behavior is not wanted. Their rude remarks, their eye rolls, their sighs, their arms crossed. It doesn't feel good. We don't like it. We don't want it. And so that is one of the characteristics of both a bad day and a bully, which is why we can sometimes get confused. The second characteristic is that there's a nonverbal and a verbal element to be looking for. So those nonverbal things such as, oh my God, tagged on with a verbal comment. But here's where things change. These last 3 characteristics are significant in terms of whether you have a bully or a bad day. Number 3 is an imbalance or a misuse of power to gain control. Now, I'm going to challenge all of you parents listening right now, because first of all, you're thinking, yeah, that's my boss. They're trying to control me, manipulate me, make me feel bad. Now, all my parents, I want you to pay attention here because we do this all the time. And even if you're not a parent, in your friend relationships, you likely do this as well. Have you ever given a consequence to somebody, and I'm going to give you an example here, in a way that it was to influence their decision making? So here's the example as a parent. We've probably all been there. eat your peas or else. And the kid will go, well, what will happen if I don't eat my peas? You're going to go to bed. You're going to go to bed hungry. And you're going to stay there all night and you can't come back out in the morning. Or this food will sit here and you're going to eat it when it's cold. So we're trying to influence an outcome and abuse our power of position and authority to influence the decision of another person. That would be a bully behavior. Sorry, parents. There are other ways in which you can get your children to eat or not eat or to make the decision for themselves. However, I digress. We're coming back to the workplace now. If you're seeing these kinds of behaviors in the workplace, John, I need that report done by 5 p.m. or else you will be fired. That's a misuse of power. We want to be setting our employees up for success and not distress. Okay, so that's the number 3. Number 4 is that there is an intention, and this is a very important word. I want you to listen to this. There is an intention to humiliate, degrade, offend, isolate a single person or a group of people. It is the intention of a bully to come to you and create stress to the point that you feel less than. That is a bully-like behavior. Now reflect back on when you maybe had that moment, you were having that bad day, and you let out this big sigh like, oh, for God's sakes. Was your intention to humiliate, degrade, offend, intimidate, or to use your power to influence an outcome? Or were you simply expressing an outward frustration, disappointment, confusion, overwhelmingness? That, my friend, is a significant piece, because when we can find out the intention behind somebody's actions, if the intention was simply like, I'm having a bad day, I don't know how to cope, we can change that. If the intention is, yeah, they're jerks, I can't work with them, I'm going to make their life hell, that is a true bully and requires a bit more of a structured approach. All right, so we've come through 4, and I know you're already thinking like, yes, 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 because if you're watching this, you've probably been struggling with some workplace situations. So I'm going to recap those 4, and then I'm going to tell you number 5, because number 5 I really want to talk about for a moment. Number 1 was unwanted behavior. Number 2, nonverbal, verbal elements. Number 3, there's an imbalance of power or a misuse of power. And number 4 is there's an intention to degrade, humiliate, isolate, offend a person or a group of people. Now the 5th one that comes in the research, and this one to me is debatable, and I'm going to share with you why, is that it's repeatable. Now, yes, a bully will repeat the offensive behaviors because they have an intention that they are focused on humiliating you, isolating you. Oops. And so there will be a repeated pattern that is there. What I want to share with you, and this is why I have said it's debatable for me, is that it does not have to be repeatable in order for it to be considered bullying. In Alberta, where I live, in 2018, the Occupational Health and Safety definition of harassment in the workplace mimics this. And so what you're going to see in the research is a lot of definitions include the term repeatable. And often they will say like over a long period of time. So employees are subjected to this behavior for months before an organization would typically react, investigate, and do something. Now, an organization has a responsibility to investigate when it is first reported. So if you feel like this is a one-time, you're like, wow, that was really horrible. Obviously, we first start lowest level communication. It's what I advocate for. It's what I help teach you to do. So if you're looking for help, there'll be a link below. And once we've exhausted that option and we determined, yeah, this was probably bullying, and we report it higher, it has to be investigated. Now, with that said, I want to read to you the definition of harassment in the Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Code. Harassment is a single or repeated incident of objectionable or unwanted behavior, comment, bullying, or action. It is a single or repeated incident that is intended to intimidate, offend, degrade, or humiliate a particular person or group. And it is a single or repeated incident that results in psychological harm to workers. So you do not need to be subjected to this behavior on multiple occasions in order for you to identify that you have a bully. What you do need to do is have that conversation lowest level, and I'll drop in 10 safe conversational starters so you can address these offensive behaviors. So when somebody rolls their eyes, you can go, hey, I noticed you roll your eyes. Is it because I did something wrong or you're having a bad day? Help me understand, right? That simple conversation, and then they will validate for you whether or not they are out to get you or they're just having a bad day. A bad day we can work with. A bully, we need to get some resources and supports bigger than us in order to support it, the resolution. All right, so I know you're dying for this invitation. Drop it below in the comments. Let me know. Do you think you have a bad day? Do you think you have a bully? And what is it that's happening for you? So what have you tried? What are you experiencing? And my hope and my wish in sharing this video for you, first of all, is that one, you gain awareness, because I lacked it when I was going through my experience, and I suffered 2 years. And I suffered for 2 years underneath this boss, not recognizing that I had a potential bullying situation on my hands, because I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm quite confident in how I can communicate, but I was not aware that I was dealing with something bigger. And so I share these with you here. Make sure you're picking up those safe conversation starters so that you can start lowest level to identify the problem, and make sure you're identifying, is it a bad day or a bully? And then your next course of action will be, what's my next step to get help? You may just find that you're resolving it with that one conversation. Now be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications. I produce content every week that is designed to help support you create better relationships, elevate your communication skills so that you don't have to deal with the stuff I went through. It is my mission in life to help you change the way a relationship is done, one conversation at a time.